Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gold Rush podcast. I am your host, James Takar. Hey, it's been a while. It's been almost a week. Last video I made was the improvements that the 49ers need to make. And that was a very important video, especially after tonight, folks. I'm recording this immediately after Monday Night Football. We had prime time, folks, going up against the Minnesota Vikings at their house, Skull Nation. And unfortunately, the 49ers come up short again. So I've been doing this Gold Rush podcast. I did it last year in December. And then I decided, let me start it back up. Let me focus on this a little bit more before I run amok. So run amok is a little bit on pause right now, but I do want to try to get back on it. In the past two games that I've been lucky enough to be able to cover with the Gold Rush podcast, the 49ers have lost. So I don't know. Maybe I need to stop it. Maybe I need to quit. Maybe I need to retire after 4 videos and 6 podcasts or something like that, because it's getting embarrassing. Let's go over the game. So the 49ers, again, they go into Minnesota coming off a very upsetting loss against the Cleveland Browns, looking for a bounce back game. All the guys are saying, "Oh, you know, we got humbled. You know, we needed that." You know, they're excited. Oh, the media is all excited. The fans, let's go. Oh, we're going into Minnesota. It's gonna be Brock Purdy's never had 2 bad games in a row. No Justin Jefferson. This and that. You know, unfortunately, we had some injuries. Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, they were out, and their presence was missed. And we even suffered some injuries today. Dre Greenlaw got hurt a little bit. His hamstring re-aggravated, it seems. Hopefully, some good news coming from that. And then Fred Warner. That was a scary one. Fred Warner is the scary one because he is the heart and soul of the defense, the heart and soul of the team, really. Nobody wants it more than Fred Warner. Nobody wants it as bad as him. Nobody's been playing to the level of Fred Warner. He's been playing as a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. If Myles Garrett wasn't playing like a different being, Fred Warner would be in that conversation. But now it seems like that's Garrett's title to lose. So let's go into it. So the Minnesota Vikings go into this game 2-4. We're thinking, all right, let's go, fellas, let's go. And we lose by 5. 17-22, the final score after Monday Night Football. And it was just bad. We simply got our teeth kicked in. I mean, it was that simple. And the score, I feel like, doesn't really reflect the bad play of the 49ers. And that's really what it was. Of course, you know, I can sit here and blame the refs and make excuses. Oh, the players, we didn't have Deebo, we didn't have Trent. But we should be talented enough to be able to exceed some of that. We should be good enough to be able to play through adversity, not adversary. I've been saying that a lot. And that's been the biggest problem for this team. They didn't go through adversity the first 5 weeks, and now past 2 games, they've needed it. They've needed their quarterback to step up, and he hasn't been able to. And he has not been able to provide a game-winning drive. We had in Cleveland, of course, yes, he drove us downfield, but we shouldn't have even been put in that situation. And boom, Jake Moody misses the field goal, which, again, he missed one again today, a 40-yarder, redeemed himself with a 55-yarder later on, but still, there's points off the board, and who knows, it could be a different game if we sink that. But again, Brock Purdy, again, has to lead us for a touchdown. We got lucky with a missed field goal. Brock Purdy throws, I would say it was 2 interceptable balls, and one of them, it was the game-winning pick. The game-winning pick to, what was his name? Cameron Bynum. He had Purdy's number. He had the entire 49ers roster number the entire game. 2 interceptions, 2 crucial interceptions. Brock Purdy's first game having thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. Upsetting. And it was a horrible throw, horrible read. Both of the interceptions were horrible throws, horrible reads. The first one, you could probably put it on Jennings. He kind of missed the cut. It was a misread. Purdy just kind of threw it right into Bynum's arms. Bang, interception. This one, I don't know what he was trying to do. He tried to get it over the top. I think he was targeting Kittle. I'm not exactly sure who he was targeting, but because once I saw there was a man right in front of him, I stopped watching. I had to look away. And so just real upsetting there. The run game, the Vikings, they ran it down the 49ers' throats all game. They had 74 rushing yards. I want to say it was the most that we've let up. I think Cleveland actually might have been. And, you look at the team stats here. They simply outplayed us. More total yards, 452 to 325. More passing yards, 378 to 260. More rushing yards, 74 to 65. And then more yards per play, 6.8 to 6.1. They dominated us in the numbers game. Third down efficiency. We were 5 for 9. They were 8 for 13. They dominated. The time of possession, they had 9 minutes more than us. They had one interception, which was early in the game. Travarius Ward, he bully balled Jordan Addison, and I was like, nice. This is going to be a fun, relaxing 49ers game. It's going to be a good game. We're going to, we can have some fun. We win. Let's go. But of course, it was too early to tell for this team. CMC fumbles inside the 10. Minnesota crafts up a 89-yard touchdown drive. And those suck the soul out of the defenses. Speaking of the defense, we got to get on them because this type of play, this is not no top 5 best defense in the league like we've been claimed to be. This is not a top 10 defense in the league. The secondary letting up big play after big play. Steve Wilks. Oh my goodness, I've never been this upset about a DC because we've had such good ones. We had Robert Saleh, we had D'Amico Ryans, and now Steve Wilks. We got a big name out of the organization, which is, I guess, out of the loop. Saleh was a 49ers guy. D'Amico was a 49ers guy. And now we go and we get a big name from Carolina. Hey, this guy used to be a head coach. He should be a defensive mastermind. We bring him in, and he has just been upsetting after upsetting. Soft coverage has been his thing, and it's just not working out for this team. I don't think his defense really works for the 49ers because, the soft coverage is fine and all, but then he blitzes, I feel like, at too much. We were blitzing Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins was picking apart the defense. There was no point in blitzing when Kirk Cousins isn't phased. The offensive line was picking up everything. I don't know the exact pressure rates that we've had, but it seemed like Kirk Cousins wasn't phased at all. No sacks, of course. We have our Kim Kardashian model defensive pass rusher, Nick Bosa, who doesn't really, he had 5 tackles, and he had a great game, but listen, we need sacks, we need pressures, we need to get the quarterback uncomfortable, and it feels like this defensive line, as good as it is, it's not doing that, and I don't know if to put the blame on Steve Wilks or to put the blame on the players or Chris Kosaric. I don't know what's going on. Something seems out of the loop with the 49ers, and honestly, it could even be put on the blame. Kirk Cousins just had a great game. He had a generational game, which frankly, hey, he did, no doubt about it. Kirk Cousins balled out. Let's talk Kirk Cousins stats. He only had 10 incompletions, 35 for 45, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That was early on in the game, and after that interception, he took it personally. It was just horrid. Dre Greenlaw was back, which was great. His presence was felt for sure, especially in the run game. He had some big tackles. But Hufanga, the safeties were getting cooked. Our secondary, we need a cornerback bad. And I, again, don't know if this is still Steve Wilks' problem, but very handsy, very penalty flag prone. And that's a problem. That's a problem. It's period. Travarius Ward, I'm big on him. I love his physicality, but he gets beat. He gets beat. And if he doesn't get beat, he's getting handsy, and sometimes it'll come in our favor, and we'll get a big bully ball interception. But sometimes it'll just be a flag that's totally killer, and we saw that. Hey, don't think I'm gonna forget about the halftime. Literally, couple seconds going into halftime. They really just should run the ball out. That's what we all thought. But no, they go for gold. Cover 0. We send some pressure to Kirk, and hey, again, Kirk had all day back there. Kirk had all day. Bang. Throws one to Jordan Addison, and just like Travaris Ward's interception, Jordan Addison bully balls Ward, 60-yard touchdown. Okay. And then we come into halftime 3-0. I mean, it was a horrible stretch that first half, and the second half wasn't much better. 2 touchdowns from oblique torn CMC. What's up with that? We got to have the other guys clicking, and Kittle, he had his big game, and Ayuk as well. They both had 5 catches apiece. Kittle had 78 yards, Ayuk with 57 yards. Even Juwan Jennings, he had 5 catches for 54. So love seeing getting everybody involved there. And of course, McCaffrey is just going to be McCaffrey and get his touchdowns. But I mean, I would love to get everybody else involved to score, but we just simply couldn't move. No Trent Williams hurt, but Jalen Moore held his own, and I'm glad. I was a Jalen Moore truther, and so I'm glad to see him playing well. But even then, Purdy looked uncomfortable in the pocket. Okay, I'm being a little too critical because he wasn't moving around a lot as well, and I actually don't even think he got sacked. He did. Yeah, 1 sack by Danielle Hunter. He was moving around. He had some good plays with his legs. So I can't be too critical on the offense because really this game came out of the defense. A Justin Jefferson-less Minnesota Vikings somehow, some way torched the 49ers defense. That just sounds crazy coming out of my mouth right there. And I mean, I gotta give respect to the Minnesota Vikings defense. They threw a lot of things at Purdy. Obviously made him throw 2 interceptions. And really upsetting. An ugly game that, again, you gotta say, it feels like we should have won. Just like the Cleveland Brown game, say we should have won. The 49ers have not won in Minnesota since 1992. 0-7 in Minneapolis. Per Matt Mayoko. That's crazy. It's been 31 years. That's crazy. Again, I don't know what's the problem. Is it Steve Wilkes? Is it the players? Because, we're saying, hey, we got to go trade. We got to go get like a Pat Surtain. We got to go get this. We got to go get that. But are they going to be good if the game plan isn't there? If we're playing 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage and they're just dinging and dunking and we can't make a tackle. Tackling has been a big issue the past 2 weeks. The defense needs to round up. They need to sharpen up. A big game going up against Cincinnati and Levi's. I know we had 2 back-to-back away games. Now we're going back home to Levi's, taking on a tough opponent. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon. That offense can kill us if the defense played how they did today. Cannot happen. Needs to sharpen up. Brock Purdy went 28 for 30, 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Not a bad game, but game-winning drive, ball in his hands. He had some big plays. Throws a duck. His 2 interceptions were some bad ones. It just looked like it got away from him. McCaffrey really suffered on the ground. Even George Kittle got a carry. He got 2 yards. The 49ers needed this game as a statement game, especially after the Cleveland Browns, and they could not do it. And now it's in serious concerns with this team. Are they contenders? Of course, I think they are. They're still a top 3 team in the NFC. The Lions, they just got blown out by the Baltimore Ravens. And the Eagles, I guess they're at the top despite even their struggles. But hey, they at least beat the Miami Dolphins with 5 wins. And they looked solid doing that. The 49ers have looked sloppy these past 2 weeks. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. They beat the brakes off of them. And then thought that they can take their foot off the gas. Absolutely cannot do that. I'm terrified. I can't look forward to these games. I was excited. I took a little nap before the game. I woke up. Oh, it was game time. Let's go. We got the interception. The first drive was going so well. And then Christian McCaffrey fumble. Okay. we can bounce back, and then it just never bounced back. I don't think the 49ers had to lead the entire game. Totally just a disaster class. Defense has got to step up. Some bright spots, though. Hey, Javon Hargrave looked good. I love the way he stuffs the run, despite the run, kind of being, he had some plays. Dre Greenlaw, again, great tackler. Probably the best tackle. Him and Fred Warner, the Fred Warner missed tackle was pretty crucial as well, though. Not many bright spots that we could take. Just another game that we're going to have to learn from. Going to Cincinnati off of a short week. Cincinnati's coming off of a bye week. 2 in a row. 49er faithful. Got to bounce back against Cincinnati. I'm sorry for my absence. I will try to try to preview that game. This was the Week 7 49ers recap. A sad day. I miss the taste of victory. I miss what winning feels like. I can only imagine what the players are going through. Hey, I'm all about positivity here, so I'm not going to try to bash any individual player too much. I'm sure, you could probably look back. I probably did, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just a game at the end of the day. No, screw that. We gotta whoop Cincinnati. Cincinnati can't have a chance to breathe. We need it from the first drive till the end of the game. The defense, especially, they're the biggest concerns. They're the biggest ones that need to step up. I need Bosa to have a 3-sack game. I know people, sacks aren't everything, this and that. I don't care. I want Bosa to get a sack, bro. If Bosa doesn't get a sack, it's sad. You're getting paid some of the biggest bucks in the entire league. You gotta be a game wrecker. You gotta be a game changer. Look at Myles Garrett. Alrighty. That's gonna round out this episode. Again, another sour episode. I wish I was happy. I cannot wait. There's been 2 games I've covered, 2 losses. I cannot wait for the game where I'm happy to record immediately after. This is the worst part of the week. We'll try to get into a little bit more. Hey, the trade deadline is approaching, so we gotta hope the 49ers make some move. The Philadelphia Eagles, they traded for Kevin Byard. Niners gotta counter that. Hey, go get Jalen Johnson, Pat Surtain, Brian Burns, whoever. Daniel Hunter seems off the table now with the Vikings maybe being able to compete. They've got an easy schedule moving forward. The Niners only get tougher from here. You've got the Bengals, and then we've got a bye week, which could be much needed. If we lose against the Bengals, that's going to be huge. Hey, we're still 5-2, folks. Let's settle down a little bit. We're still atop of the league. The only thing that sucks is these losses might add up later on in the season, but all in all, we should be okay. Still got all the talent. Steve Wilkes, maybe he's just still trying to learn some things up there. He's in the box. That's why. Bring him down. Come down to the field. Come on. I'll catch you on the next episode where we preview, Week 8, Cincinnati, back at Levi's. I'll see y'all then. I'm your host, James Takar. You just listened to the Gold Rush podcast. Go check out the social medias, which will be in the description, whether you're listening on Spotify or you're watching on YouTube. I appreciate y'all so much. Peace out, faithful.